Alright, so what's up guys? So we are out here on another run. Out here. And now we got another video up for y'all. And as you can probably read, as basic as this one is, it's how to run faster. And you want 3 tips now for you to be able to run faster, right? Cross that finish line earlier, right? Knock out a new PR, which is what, like, I don't know about you, but I want to do that, right? This is why I'm out here running and doing this craziness. So without further ado, we're gonna bring to you tip number 1, and that is to alternate between fast twitch and slow twitch muscles, right? You want to mix it up, right? You don't want to just be, running these long jogs, right? Half marathons, 5K, 10K, right? Those are all nice and fine and dandy, but in essence, you want to be able to handle, multiple styles of challenges, right? You want to be able, to handle, those quick runs. And as we look at our watch, we're at 20, and from that, having the ability to jog and also sprint, having those 2 different dynamics at play for you will turn you into a super athlete, into a LeBron James, right? Because that's what you want to be, right? You want to be that mega, athlete, that superstar. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to be, too far into one field. I don't want to simply be good for sprinting and get tired in 2 seconds, nor do I simply want to be good for these long, slow jogs and simply withstand that. And what I started doing a couple months ago is adding sprints to the end of my runs. And from that, I got so sore the first day I did my sprints, and they were normal run-of-the-mill sprints. They were just going, roughly around like 8,200 meters, not miles, hello. And from that, that really set my body off guard. My body was so used to just running and running and running at this slow, steady pace, and simply running as fast as I possibly could, even for that short burst, that it was really, was good for my body. Although it felt horrible, right? It hurt, man. The pain and the soreness was quite brutal, but we slept through it and we woke up stronger. And for you, right now, it just doesn't have to be, running fast and running slow, right? You can do different running techniques. You can go side to side, you can go upstairs, downstairs. Hey, hello. Hey, and from that, let's show off. Oh, hey. So we got a little bit carried away there, but you get the gist of it, right? Putting your body in different shocks, right? Running the fastest mile that you can possibly run, then running for as long as you can, because I would fall victim to this, or not victim, because it was my fault. I'm not a victim, hello. And I would simply try to run the fastest half marathon that I could. And what I started to realize was that I would have this slow and steady pace that I just didn't really activate those different types of muscles that I would activate if I simply just ran 1 mile as fast as I could, try to break a world record, right? And from that, I started to get stronger, more able, to handle that, right? As shocking as that sounds, because those different workouts carry into your different routines, right? If you're a better sprinter, it'll help you out when you're running, believe it or not. It'll make you a faster runner, and vice versa. If you're able to jog for long periods of time and build up your cardio, it will carry over when you're sprinting and you're getting tired when you're sprinting and you want to rest. But since you have the cardio built up, you won't have to. So from that, to mix it up, be able to, because that's a huge secret and running faster. And that brings us to number 2, is to watch video of yourself, observe yourself running, right? Study the mechanics, right? That doesn't, just go beyond watching self-tapes of you running, right? You want to be able to study, from people who are running marathons or running sprints or running these different races that you want to run. They have a specific form that they learn, right? They don't simply just, go through the motions of running and hope, to finish the race as best as they can. They learn either from somebody or somewhere how to run, right? How to drive your feet forward and take the right steps. And, for you, probably one of the first steps you should be doing, instead of, just running, right? Which is good in and of itself. You want to do that, but you got to know how to do it. You got to have, someone show you, whether that may be, an older family member, sibling, or a close friend of yours, whatever it may come from, right? Learning how to run will prevent your injuries, make you run faster, easier, longer, and be able to withstand your runs, not run longer and faster. Because if you're running the wrong way, you're simply overusing different muscles and parts of your body that you're not really supposed to be. And why keep doing that? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? You're running a mile in 10 minutes and you want to run it in 9, but you are simply doing the same breathing patterns, same running motions, and also too, breathing is very important in running. And if you expect to run faster, soon, you're kind of, thinking the wrong way. You're kind of foolish in your thinking. So for that, study the art of running, learn the mechanics, learn the technique, learn, how these elite runners run. And from that, you will be able to run faster, which is my goal. I hope you guys got that goal too. So from that, we will go into the 4th tip. Oh no, not 4th, 3rd tip. In running faster. And that 3rd tip is, simply to focus on, shorter distances. And here, let me get, brief for you. Right, say you want to run a 10K or a half marathon or a full marathon. Break it up by mile, right? Try to think that every mile, is a new mile. Try to run your fastest mile every time, right? You run your first mile of the race, right? You get 9 minutes, 8 minutes, and then you forget that you did that mile. You worry about the next mile. You don't worry about the finish line yet. Finish line will come when it comes. You got to realize, that if you're running north, you're probably gonna end up in Toronto, right? That old saying, right? You're in a car near down south by Miami, and you keep going north, you'll wind up in Canada eventually, but it'll take you time, right? That race is designed, to be long and lengthy, to push your mental limits. And one way, to defy that is to simply break it down, focus on, those shorter durations, because within that big race is each mile and each half mile and each kilometer and so forth, whatever you want to break it down to. And if you're running every mile as fast as you possibly can, your whole race is going to probably turn out to be a good one, right? You're going to break a PR, right? That's your goal. And if you're sprinting, you break it down, right? You have this big 200-meter sprint, right? Although that can seem short to you long distance runners, but for the sprinters, that's quite a bit of a sprint. So what you got to do is you got to break it down. You got to focus on the jump, the start, right? When you hear that gun or timer, getting off to that best start, from there, exploding, right? And accelerating and getting to your top speed. And from your top speed, hold it, maintain it, and keep driving your feet forward as fast as they can, for each 50 meters, or 100 meters. Right, for me, I would have my 200 meters set up, and I would have like various points within it. I'll have the 50 meter, 100 meter, 150, and 200. I would focus on the 50 meters to get as fast as I possibly can. And then from the 100 meters, I would focus on holding that speed, because what can happen is if you try to, overexert yourself, try to over accelerate, you will tire yourself out, and your running mechanics might fall off, and you might slow down, right? If you simply had just focused on being like a car, accelerating to 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, turning on cruise control and holding it, you would do better than if you simply slammed your foot on the gas, and try to hold it on there. Because if you keep accelerating and trying to accelerate and trying to accelerate, your body might freak out, might turn it into overdrive, like a car gets hot, if you overexert it. And from that, you can even apply that, to running long distance. Say you try to run, literally as fast as you possibly can, like I did that, right? And I got, these 12 miles to run. That might be foolish. Hello, because, we have to stick to our pace, right? When we started, we focused on accelerating and getting to our pace, right? At 6 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour, and holding it. And from that, it's a game of maintaining your speed. I'm not out here to race anybody, or race whoever's next to me, race these cars if I wanted to, because I know it'd be foolish, right? I'd overheat. It wouldn't be right for me. I'm not a car. I'm a guy running and juggling, and for that reason, I should have my own strict pace and hold on to it, right? And focus, take it block by block, and having these small little objectives, right? Sometimes it's being able to breathe, right? And have, sufficient air, not feel dehydrated after a certain time frame or light that I pass. And once I pass that, my goal's done. But until I get there, I'm still chasing after that goal. I'm not, thinking about the end right away. Although when you're close to it, you want to think about it, right? It's right there. It's the finish line. It's the biggest part of your run, right? It's finishing, hopefully the time that you want to finish. And then from that, have an amazing run. I use these 3 tips to your advantage in running faster. And I'm sure, you will come back, stronger from this, not only physically, but mentally as well. Running faster is one of the biggest, coolest, right, most special, forms of fitness there is. And because we're humans, we're bipedals, right? We have to walk, we have to run, and always use your legs. So if you can run faster, it'll be awesome for you. It'll help out and make your life an easier one. And from that, we hope you enjoy it.